Okay, so this is part 2, answering the comments and questions on the channel from the past few weeks. So let's go to the next one. Don't know if I'm going to finish all of these tonight. I still have a bunch of work to do this evening, but at least I'll get through as many as I can. So, Super Speedrun, Super Bit World Speedrun. The CC Cut said, nice. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Let me know if you played the game. And please tell me if you have played the game. Please let me know how far you got, which level, because I still don't really know which levels are difficult or not, but I am tracking that, but I'd love to hear directly if people thought it was very easy or too hard or whatever. But anyway, thanks for the comment, man. Humble Gamer, hi Martin, can you make a video of dealing with different screen sizes on Android? Yeah, on Android, what I usually do is, for most of the Android games, like Unity just handles the screen sizes for me. So what I do is I just make a game which isn't restricted by the screen size. How can I put that? Unity handles most of it for me. I can't really explain it too well. But for things like, say, UI, like the buttons or something, what I do is I anchor them to the corner of the screens. I might be able to show you quickly what I'm talking about here, since I've got the project open. So for example, let's say you've got a screen that's like, say, this size here. If I go to 420 by 480 wide by 320 high, and as you can see, these buttons here, they're kind of in the corner. If I click play, they'll go right into the corner, and what I'm doing is I'm just using the same size, but I'm anchoring them, okay? And if I move it to a different screen size, let's just say a free aspect one, so you can see that this is wider now. If I make it even wider, they're going to anchor themselves to the corner again. So you can see that it's gone right into the corner. And what I do is I just built my own scripts for doing that, and I think you might be able to just pause the video and then see this. HUD shooting level, screen placement. So I'll let this open up, and then what you can probably do is just pause the video and then read through the code. I did explain it in one of my other videos as well, and I think it was a Super Bit World video which talks about how I did this. So all of the screen sizes on Android are pretty much handled just by Unity. I test on 3 devices. I test on an 800 by 480. I test on a 1280 by 800, and I test on a Kindle 7-inch, which is 1200 by 800 pixels, something like this. So I have a bit of variety in there, most of them. But if you're going to test, I'd recommend now testing on a 1280 by 800, which is a Sony Xperia 2, I think, which is the one that I'm testing on now. So this is my script here for anchoring the UI to the corners. I'll just scroll down a little bit so that you can pause it and see what I'm doing. But what I'm doing is I'm just checking, I'm using a parent object, a game object, then putting the buttons as a child object, and then that parent object locks itself to a corner. For example, like screen.width times 0.65, so I want the anchor to go roughly to the center, a little bit off center. So, that's how I'm doing it. And I'm getting a phone call right now. I'm going to pause it and be back in just 1 second, guys, so stay tuned. Pause it right. Okay, I'm hopefully back now, and this is recording, okay? So, so Humble Gamer, that's how I usually approach screen sizes on Android. I try to check on as many phones as I have available at the time, but it's not a really big thing. What I sometimes try to do is I just try to squeeze it into a space as well. So for example, I'm just trying to find a device here. So for example, if this is the screen size, most of the gameplay I'll try to keep in like a smaller area, just so that if there is a screen size that comes along that I've not prepared for example, and one of the gameplay is off screen, then I'll try to make everything sort of inwards. Do you know what I mean? So for example, Ninja Birds X, one of the games where it's like an Angry Birds game, the arena, I don't put it at the edge of the screen. I'll squeeze everything in so that if there is another screen size that comes along that I've not tested, then I can roughly know, oh, it should be okay. So that's the quick and easy way to do it. If there's a better way, please let me know, but Unity handles a lot of that. So Anyway, on to the next one. We're going for it here. So, Cap'n J Rock said, "Hi, I really enjoy your videos. The monetized videos are especially interesting because it's hard to find people who are willing to talk about the specifics of that. So, thank you. Cool. You know, I'm glad the business stuff is useful as well, because I don't have a lot of time to do the tutorial style videos." And there's also a lot of tutorial videos already available online. You know, there's more tutorial videos than there are videos that talk about business. So I'm glad that's working out well and people are finding it useful. So a couple of questions. When you set up a box playing in the background to receive mouse click coordinates to pass on for player movement, do you change the get mouse button to something touch based before deployment, or do you leave it up to the OS to interpret that functionality? What I do is, if it's a single touch game, you only need one finger to play, then I just keep the get mouse button. If it requires two fingers, like Super Bit World, my new game, then I break that into to the touch functionality, and I quickly show you, since I've got this right here, and this should be the one. So, for example, here, if it's not the Unity editor, so if it's on Android or if it's on iPhone, for example, then what I do is I count the number of touches, and then I do a raycast for each touch, and then I handle the input. So, for example, if I'm touching the jump button, then I will do a jump, and if I'm also holding the left move button at the same time, then I can also handle this here. If it's a single touch game, here I'm just using the get mouse button down, you know what I mean? So if it's like a menu scene, for example, it's only going to be single input. So I don't need to use this get the input touch count. So I'll scroll down a little bit just so that you can see what I'm doing there, and you can pause the video and see how I handle that. But for this is how you handle multiple touch games. So, can you do a tutorial video about gesture-based controls like you use in Super Bug Killer? I want to implement a swipe gesture to make a character jump, so any tutorial on how to register or handle past that kind of gesture would be greatly appreciated. So I don't have a huge amount of experience on gesture controls. So, for example, you swipe to move left or swipe to move right. But yeah, Super Bug Killer was inspired by Fruit Ninja, which uses that slashing mechanic. So let me see, whilst we're on the subject, because I actually have scripts from my old projects here, so I'm wondering if I have that script available. I don't know if I do. Sorry guys, I'm just wondering whilst because actually on this computer I don't have all of my scripts, because I've got two Macs now, and the old projects are on the other Mac. This is just Super Bit World on this Mac. But don't think I do. Chick's Revenge, I'm sure, because Chick's Revenge also had this like swiping mechanic. I might have to leave that for a separate video and then show you how it's done. So yeah, sorry I can't find this here. I'll come back to that. Please, once you see this video, please drop me a comment or a message if I do forget to do a video on that. All I need to do is just open the script and then make a quick video and kind of talk about how it happens. But what I do is I use a distance checker. So if my hand is doing this, swiping across, then what I do is on the first update I check the position here, and then on the second update I check the position here. And if the distance from left to right is more than, say, 1 inch, then we know the player has swiped right. If the distance if this point here, the second point, is greater than the first point, then we know that gesture was to the right. So that's kind of how I figured this out. But there's also some good resources on the Unity forum I'd seen before about gesture and how to handle input. But like I said, drop me a comment if I forget to do a video on that, and because all I need to do is just show the script and then explain it. So, but anyway, thanks for the comment, man. I hope development's going well, and glad you like the videos as well, especially the monetization ones. Okay, I think this is just a shared video. Everyone take a minute at a time. It's called Cobalt Red Studios. Okay, so Corey, everybody take a minute of your time to see this channel. It's called Cobalt Red Studios, and she or he makes games for Android. Go check out her channel and see. Oh, so yeah, I'd asked one of my marketing staff asked Corey to share the video. We have some marketing people who also work on YouTube, so sometimes you might see a message from somebody else that might be my wife or one of the other marketing staff. So there's a few people. So if you see some different names on the same YouTube channel, then don't worry about that. That's just some of my marketing people doing some work. But Corey, thanks for the share, man. If you do see this video, awesome. Really supports us. So thank you for that. Doom Prince. Wow, I can't believe I watched the whole 30-minute advertisement. Appreciate your work, man. I hope this 30-minute ad helps you in any way. Doom Prince, thank you for watching the ads. Yeah, that's basically how I make money with the channel. So that's really cool. Thank you for watching the 30-minute ad. I hope it was interesting or useful. Yeah, like I said before on one of my other videos, I want to focus more on YouTube and try to get more videos done for this. Because YouTube at the moment really doesn't generate much money at all. It's like $3 a day that I make from this channel. And because it's a very niche channel, not a lot of people watch it. You know, it's very specific, but hopefully over time this will grow, and then I can find some other revenue channels for YouTube, like affiliate marketing. Like when I recommend a plugin that I always like, then somebody clicks on the link, they download it, then I make some revenue. That would be cool, because right now I can't justify spending a lot of time on YouTube, unfortunately. But I love to do it. That's the thing. I love to do this. So, yeah, it always helps. So, you know, watch some ads. That's fantastic. Thanks. All right, C Racing. It's a dumb game. I played it for 5 minutes and it sucks monkey dick. All right, cool. C Racing. I do appreciate all the comments, whether they're positive or negative. That was Killer Shooting Sniper X. It's not a game for everybody. That's true. Not everybody likes the games. So if you're developing games, anybody out there, there's always ups and downs and people that don't like them. So, but any criticism is good. So. Edward shared one of my videos. Cool, thank you very much for sharing. That's a Google Plus notification. I've not really seen these before. Thank you so much for the share. That's awesome, Edward. I hope these videos are useful. Comment, as always, any questions, you know, let me know, and I'll hopefully get back to you with some useful information. This looks like just a link to comments. I'm probably going to answer it in a moment, so I'll move on. So, Paul M. I don't get it. Why do we need to create a Facebook app ID if all the user is doing is posting to their Facebook wall? And what account do we use to log into Facebook to create an app ID? So the reason that you need to log into why do we need to create I think it's because so that Facebook can connect your application to the application that you set up in Facebook. So that's why you need an ID. So when a user plays your game, and they connect to their Facebook account to say post their score or post a picture, then it needs to know which game that's coming from. And I think the main reason for doing app IDs is just so that they can stop any kind of say spam app or an app which posts like bad stuff to the user's Facebook, and then they can cancel it if necessary. So it's not completely open. So they need some kind of security checks in place, which is why the app ID comes in. The account that you use to actually create a Facebook app would be your personal account, or if you have, say, a company account. I do it on my personal account, and I go to developer.facebook.com, click on apps, and then I add a new app, and then you can add in all the information there and get your app ID, and then you can integrate that into your game so that you can, or other players can start to post. So that's the way I do it, because Facebook doesn't usually allow you to have two what would we call it? Two accounts with the same name or the same person, and they're really strict with that. So I always have the apps that I add Facebook into. I always put that under my personal account, and I go to developer.facebook.com. So, all right, next one. So moving on, CAD3Tux. So hey, first of all, thank you very much for amazing and easily presented tutorial. It really makes my first time with Unity special, pun intended. Cool. I'm assuming that might be the Pong tutorial, so cool. Glad you liked it, and I'm glad it's useful. Anyway, I've been following your guides and copied your script in the tutorial to the letter. As soon as I got to part 3 of your tutorial, I got stuck. The ball bounces off the right wall, then it hits the top wall, and instead of bouncing off, As soon as it hits it, slides along until it reaches the left. I've tried making the wall a couple of times, tried copying, and even rewriting the script once more, and I still can't get the ball to bounce off the top wall. I've went through all the comments under this video, but neither solved the issue. Perhaps you may have an idea what may have caused such behavior. The project was saved a couple of times beforehand and Unity was not closed at all. Cad, I think, or Cadet, I think I answered this one in the next comment, maybe, possibly. Thank you from Winnebago. You're welcome. So, hey, I'm such a fool. Eventually I decided to just keep going through the tutorial and ignore the glitch. And no later than a few minutes into the video, I talk about this particular issue. So yeah, I'd seen this comment originally. Ignore the previous message, and I won't bother you anymore. So no, that's cool. I know which one you were talking about. The ball goes up and then it just sort of slides along the top of that top wall. So yeah, I'm glad that got fixed anyway. And there might be a couple of other problems or glitches in the Pong tutorial series, if I remember, but definitely check the comments and check the later videos because I might have answered them later on. But so glad you found it useful. Keep the comments coming, the messages, and you know, let me know if you need anything. I'm going to come back to this in a moment, guys. Pause the video, so check in for part 3 where I'm answering some more comments and questions from the channel. So anyway, stay tuned, guys. I'll be back.